Hello, hello, good morning for everyone already present in the call. Thank you also for being in time. I will give it 1 more minute before we start the session, also to respect the agenda of everybody, and then we shall kick it off. Okay, well, we already have 10 participants. If other people will join a bit later, no problem. But in the meantime, I will already start. Just also wanted to quickly ask for my colleagues from Tech Data, if there are attendees in the participant list, please to promote them to the panelists so they can join the call as well during my conversation. So Jana or Gwendolyn, thank you for your support during the call as well. Quick introduction from my side. My name is Nicolas Labreur, and I am the field marketing manager at Dell Technologies, which is basically just a product specialist or a product manager for the Dell client solutions. And my focus and my aim is, of course, on the channel business and the channel market. So I'm here to support all of our lovely partners, of course. And today we have scheduled a pretty particular session. Where I will make an introduction to you to our Dell virtual tech rally, which is actually a new concept to make actually our webinar sessions a bit more interactive for you as well, because we don't always want to be just showcasing normal slides with always somebody talking about slides in the background. I think that's for everybody that is in all day, every day in Zoom calls that can be very tiring. So I just want to showcase a bit also the new opportunities we have to offer to make actually sessions more interactive, and how we position, of course, our product portfolio. I'm also accompanied with my lovely colleague Nancy Helstoot, who will also be supporting me during this session. And she's actually more specialized within the service segment. So she will also from time to time give some useful information about the services we have to offer, of course, accompanied with our beautiful hardware equipment. That's right, Nancy, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Good. All right. Just to kick off the session, I have a small introduction prepared, of course, as well, because I think it's also important what the where we want to orient ourselves, and also on which concept actually the virtual tech rally is based, and that's actually based on the personas within Dell actually. So if you look at a slide like this, well, this actually just represents the entire hardware portfolio we have to offer within our commercial segments. And as you can see, well, there are a lot of products, and that's, of course, a good thing. The challenge part here is, of course, is to associate the right solution to the right work profile. And that's always something, of course, we value dearly. And that's also why we here at Dell also work with like personas. And the personas actually represent the different types of work profiles you can find within a company. So each persona, of course, has their specific tasks and performance they have to maintain, and they have to perform. And of course, everything is linked towards the way they are working. And for each type of person, of course, well, one of these solutions can, of course, fit their expectations. So the personas on which we were based actually within the past, because you all know we have been for some time now in a pandemic situation. And this is, of course, has changed also the way we are working and the way, yeah, of course, the workflow is going. So these were basically actually the first personas which we based on ourselves upon in order to associate our hardware solutions towards the right profile. So we were especially focused on the where the jobs takes place. So the based on where a job takes place, where because it was in an office, was it at home, was it on an external meeting, or was it somewhere in public locations. So based on that, of course, this was actually one of the main concepts on which we prioritized in order to find the right solution. So as you can see already here, well, probably there was something that hasn't changed, and that is, of course, that also we still remain focused on the remote workers. So actually, with the pandemic, of course, the work from anywhere has shifted our focus from where we work to what we need to do, because tasks are at hand, well, they evolve as well. And seeing that we have learned that actually we can work from anywhere, that's perfectly possible. It's still important to know like what types of tasks have to be done and which types of tasks have to be which type of task has to be maintained in order to deliver the right results. And of course, the only persona which will remain prevalent and which will be growing, of course, towards the near future, because we are all working towards a more hybrid role, well, the remote worker will, of course, remain a very important aspect within that area. But of course, you can see as well that a lot of stuff has changed, and changed the way we work is actually being accelerated due to actually, first of all, the COVID-19 situation, but also the integration of emerging technologies like 5G, for example, which is the next big step within the technological area, and which will also, again, change the way we work, but also improve the way we work. And of course, yeah, for us, it's very important that the employee experience remains something very important, and that our customers and our users also appreciate the solutions we provide for them. So looking back actually on what we used to know, the outdated focus on where we work will be actually reconsidered and focusing more on what types of tasks we are doing. And you will see that throughout the day that we are that will be evolving towards a more hybrid role or solution. Well, multiple personas from the past will actually be more connected in between a day. So actually the tasks and the performances or the locations on where these types of people worked before will be actually more combined throughout a new workflow or a new day. And they will be redesigned also to new types of work profiles. So like, for example, here we say we have a business builder. This is more like oriented towards like sales directors or higher profiles within the company. Corporate connector is more like pre-sales marketing people. The task tackler will be more oriented towards sales, and project producer will be more oriented, of course, towards like the data analysts. So this all within a remote environment where actually all the locations are pretty much standard. Doesn't matter where they work, at least they can do their work. But of course, here the right solutions have to be at hand, and this is where actually the hardware solutions come in. And these types of tools, of course, will also orientate and guide us towards the best possible solution, whereas the questions you can ask them what they do, where they need to work, which type of tools they need for their work, and of course what type of purchase influence it has, that will also determine, of course, again, the right solutions for these types of people. So this is, of course, something which is in progress, which is something we are considering to do, but also which will guide and orient you more towards the best hardware solutions. So all these questions you can ask yourself now are being more relevant today, and will be also of a big influence on the eventual end user, and also on the equipment they will have towards the end of their purchasing role or trajectory. So moving forward, I will guide you further within our virtual showroom. So actually introducing you to our personas is also a bit of a concept on which this platform has been based on. And here you can see actually also a virtual environment where we can present you actually our latest hardware equipment. Also, as a quick note to you for all participants here in the call, you will all be receiving the link to have access to this virtual environment. So if there is information or data that you want to check out on a later scale, or there is some stuff you would like to rediscover, the link will still be made available to you 1 week after this session took place. So be free, be my guest as well to discover it together with me. But basically the concept is very simple. Unfortunately, face-to-face events are still not the case nowadays. Yeah, we transformed actually a bit that event experience in a more virtual way. So with some booths which are present. So I will guide you also towards each and every booth just to showcase you again which type of solutions we think is also a good match for the type of profiles or personas I just highlighted, of course. So starting off, we can go here towards our, single location workers. So this is actually more based towards the people that actually have like one single location they can work on, which is in this case, of course, everybody works from home. So what could be actually a good work from home setup? So here you see we have multiple options going from our mobile range devices, but also some desktop solutions you can see right here, which can be combined, of course, also with our peripherals. So starting off with a Latitude 7000 series, which is, of course, actually one of the models we introduced within our premium segment. So it has all started to go 2 years ago, where actually we first introduced the 7000 series within a premium space. Of course, taking into account the premium aspects, which are, of course, a thin and light chassis, but also a nice premium finish, which you can see right here, which is the aluminum finish. Devices, of course, are available in a clamshell or a 2-in-1, and of course consist of some ports which are also really important for the work from home user, going from USB-A to USB-C ports and slots, inbuilt in HDMI, and another USB-C Type-C slot as well. And of course, because we are talking about commercial devices, the security aspect also plays a major role, and that is why the smart card readers also are of the significant importance. Biggest changes we have made compared to last year is, of course, the Tiger Lake CPU. So on the inside of the PC, there have been a lot of technological changes. On the other side, based on the chassis, not a lot of stuff has changed. Basically, really improving again the performance of the device and also the user experience. So as you can see here, unfortunately, I cannot hand over to you the device because, of course, I'm not talking to you face to face, but this also gives you a better idea of the design and the look and feel of the product. Also, not to mention that, of course, we also want to highlight some types of attachments, because some accessories can be recommended right here as well for these types of solutions, where we have, for example, a mobile adapter speakerphone. That is, of course, if you have the privilege to work in an environment where nobody else can disturb you. You can also maintain video conferencing calls thanks to this very nice speaker, which is also equipped with additional ports and slots, because of course, compared to a 5000 series, which has of course a big variety of ports and slots already present within the chassis, this one is a bit more limited, and this type of solution can offer you some support as well within that area or within that space. So that's one option you can look at. We also have, of course, a Latitude 5000 series, which is, of course, not to mention also one of the most popular runway devices we have in our commercial portfolio. And this particularly because of the fact that these devices have the scalability aspect. Scalability is, of course, the configuration options we have available, we have made available for these devices, not really taking into account, of course, the look and feel aspect, because yeah, this is going more towards a premium segment like 7000 or 9000 series. But for people also working from home, we want to make sure that, of course, these types of devices, yeah, don't take too much space and are not too clumsy as well to work with, and at the same time also have a nice look and feel, because yeah, we don't want to disadvantage our mainstream end users, having a bad user experience as well with these types of devices. But of course, the majority or the main focus of these devices are, of course, the built-in legacy ports, like you can see right here, built-in RJ45, built-in HDMI, multiple USB-A ports, but also USB-C multiple ports and smart card readers and additional air vents to provide a better air circulation. And of course, combining this with also some accessories you can see right here. Like for example, here we have a video conferencing monitor, which is in the meantime already like an older model. We have launched like new models within that segment, but monitors which provide built-in speakers and built-in camera can enhance the video conferencing experience. Of course, if you combine this with a docking station like a W19S, well, it gives you also the possibility to expand your work environment by, if you want to have an additional monitor setup also on your office space or on your work desk. Well, this is also a perfect solution and perfect combination as well. Not to mention as well with the Dell wireless keyboards or mice that also can be added to this setup. Well, this makes actually also the entire work from home infrastructure complete. So speaking of attached, I think not only on the hardware side, there are a lot of advantages, but I think Nancy, you can also mention some nice additional service features we can add to that, because I consider service also a very important attachment
Yes.
aspect.
Sure. Yeah. Now, what I want to tell about all these nice products, of course, we have all services across all those devices. So we have we can fulfill the complete life cycle, like starting with consulting, for example, so helping with the personas to identify the personas as discussed earlier, but also, and that's very important, I think, is the deployment part, like the provisioning way. So we have, we can make a system ready to use with all the application and everything on it, and ship it directly to the customers. And I think that's very important now because of the people that work from home. But also we can help with the deployment on a specific location. But we do all this together with our partners or with the distributors. So it is not that we can do everything, but it's not that we want to frustrate the partners or the distribution. So yeah, about the real things that we can do in the factory. I think that's very important to mention, that if we do something in the factory, it will help to speed up with the deployment. And when looking at the support part, of course, also very interesting about support. We try to make it easy by using a lot of artificial intelligence. So we want customers to log, for example, the issues faster, but also prevent and predict even the issues. So we use some tooling for that, and of course I can tell a lot more about it. But I think it's important for you to know a little bit about it. And yeah, please ask after the session me about all these things. And finally, and I think that's to complete the whole life cycle, we have the asset reselling and recycling. So we can dispose all the assets, and we do that in a secure way, looking at their environment, and also comply with a lot of regulations. Sorry, I'm not speaking every day English, but so and finally remove also the data from systems, and I think that will fulfill all the whole life cycle of the system. So yeah, please ask, and I will send also all the information about our services. And if you have questions, please ask. But no, we can do a lot around the whole life cycle. So that's a little bit about services.
Thanks, Nancy, for highlighting that. I think it also is important to say that it enhances also that experience of knowing that there are more mobile workers, more people working from home. So if we can provide also like these deployment services where actually the devices are being prepped in the factory and can also immediately be shipped towards the end user, that's also like safe to say a very nice experience. It's like out of the box, ready to use, and no hassle for an IT administrator that still has to prep everything on site and then make sure that everything is delivered to the end user as well. So this experience is also related to the services we can provide additionally. And I think that it's also an important aspect to enhance that user experience more.
Yeah, and also about the support, we have also, of course, the next business day support, and that's also on site. So we can also go to the customers on site, even if they are working from home. So that's also very important. So they can work from home and also be helped with their systems from home.
Nice.
So
yeah, that's nice. So I think again, Dell is there to help and support you also within the entire deployment trajectory. All right. So I talked about specifically about the mobile systems right here for a work from home setup, but also not to mention there are still some desktop options available as well. Although I know that most of the market segment is more oriented towards everything goes mobile, everything needs to be more compact, everything needs to be smaller and portable. That's true, but not forgetting to mention that Optiplex also offers this type of solution, like mobile and compact solution. And this is actually an example of how our ultra form factor looks like. So we have introduced this concept like back in 2019, and it basically also will copy paste the all-in-one concept, but in a more modular way, whereas you actually have a not a direct link between the screen or the monitor screen and the device itself. Whereas in an all-in-one system, of course, the complete computer is embedded within the screen. Whereas for these types of solutions, you have a separate configurable PC and a separate monitor. You can also choose to your own liking if you want to have a 24-inch or 27-inch, or if you even want to go further than 27-inch. Well, we have also the right tools and solutions that support these types of setups. So it's actually like almost like, yeah, it's practically an all-in-one device, because what you see here is also the way the device looks like on your office space. So it really looks like an all-in-one system. If you combine this, of course, again, with a nice multimedia screen, built-in camera, and built-in built-in speaker, well, then you will also enhance again that video conferencing experience. And thanks to also the USB-C monitor you see right here, well, there is enough power supply also to deliver enough power to the Optiplex device. So again, you avoid cable management. If you combine this again with a wireless keyboard and mouse, you have really a nice, clean and tidy setup. The desktop is not even visible. You only see actually the screen, and that saves also a lot of space in your working area. So also do not forget to take this also into account. This is a concept that we are, I think is very important also towards the future enrollment of hybrid workspaces. And this can be very useful as well to work from home or to have also at a fixed office desk in a office space. So again, we have the flexibility also to go even higher than 27-inch screens, because we have like special stands, you can see right here, that can support up to 40-inch monitors. So if you want like an all-in-one with a 40-inch screen, perfectly possible with these types of solutions, just saying. So, and after going through all these solutions within a work from home setup, I can also showcase you how it will, how does it look like, or how do these types of solutions or devices integrate themselves within a work from home space or area. This is also very nice to see how these devices particularly really stand out, and gives you just a small example or representation from a mobile working location. So as you can see it right here, if you want to have some decoration ideas, feel free to check it out. But here you can see actually how a home office setup looks like. So you can see here as well, or you can go for the mobile solution with, of course, the Latitude 5000 series in combination with a monitor screen, wireless keyboard and mouse, and that's how it actually represents how it can represent itself. Or you just take also the the ultra form factor solution that you can see right here, that only takes the space of the monitor into account. So thanks to these setups, it gives you a more real representation of how a work from home setup looks like. Okay, going back to the virtual showroom and going further to highlight some additional devices in our portfolio. Here we are more oriented towards the high-end solutions we have, of course, in our Latitude area, 9000 and 7000 series, because this is like more on-the-go pro executive. So here we are talking more about executive level devices, where, of course, everything is more oriented towards the mobility, the light aspect of the device, and of course, all the technical features that come with it. So here, of course, we position or target more our Latitude 9000 series, which are more really like ultra premium devices. This is also something derived from the, of course, from the 7000 series I already showcased you. But here, of course, we are talking more about technological innovation, because we support like the latest technological features with, for example, 5G compatibility. And of course, also nice to see is that these devices also have like top firing speakers. As you can see right here, this is also like a unique feature of the 9000 series, which also basically is used to enhance your video conferencing experience. Other than that, we also have like electromagnetic shutters, which have been also positioned into the 9000 series devices. So the camera hides itself magnetically. So once you start your camera in your application like Zoom or Teams, it will just simply slide open and your camera will be visible. If you deactivate your camera, it will close the slider, and of course, hide your camera. So also to again be working in a more secure environment. But also at the same time, well, these type of solutions offer like an all-in-one solution for the same price. I mean, thanks to actually all these enhanced features which are already integrated in the system, basically it gives you also the luxury of just hosting a video conferencing call, for example, on a remote location without really having the additional need of peripheral support. Of course, you can still combine it with a second screen, or you can also still add some additional accessories like you can see right here. But actually, this is just a good all-in-one solution equipped with the right technology and features to do everything what you are doing on a daily basis. But of course, you know that also mobility is very important here. So they are light, they're very thin, and they're also in an aluminum finish. So based on really the small and compact chassis we provide here, there are some more limitations in terms of ports and slots compared to, for example, a Latitude 5000 series, which has, of course, way more options than this one right here. But of course, we mostly target other types of features and functionalities for these types of solutions in order to enhance also that ultra premium experience. This was an example to showcase you also what a 9000 series represents. And we also have the same model available in a 15-inch combination. Of course, you can see also right here, again, perfectly possible also to combine them with additional monitor screens. Like you can see here, a nice ultra sharp 30 for curved USB-C monitor, or for example, also 4K monitors, USB-C monitors within our ultra sharp series or segment. So these are mostly targeted for being more mobile on the go and have like more remote access to all these types of features. But once, of course, working on a single location, they can also combine it with nice premium devices or peripherals we also have in our portfolio. So going forward, we also have other types of profiles available, like for example, a phone-based worker. This actually mostly represents a bit of the same functionalities like what you can expect, of course, of a single location worker, but also takes more into account the tasks at hand and, of course, the types of applications and resources that have to be applied in order to have a system that can support all these applications. But of course, we can position here Optiplex devices as well, which are our desktop solutions, also in combination with a second monitor, of course a monitor screen and a wireless keyboard and mouse. But of course, a setup like I have showcased just before is also perfectly possible to combine here for a phone-based worker. Of course, they need to take into account, of course, that additional peripherals have to be considered, like, for example, a headset, if they're working, of course, in an environment in combination with other people working in the same environment, or, of course, with a mobile speakerphone that can also enhance that experience even more. But looking forward, a Latitude 5000 series in combination with a second screen, wireless keyboard and mouse, and a well-functioning headset is actually also the perfect way to support these types of personas. And again, doesn't take too much space also in your office environment. And these people will also, of course, need the best equipment in order to maintain these conversations with their customers. So this is how actually a setup would look like. Also, you can take also still the docking station into consideration if you want to have multiple monitor, a multi-monitor setup. But of course, this can also provide extra support in terms of power supply and also avoid some additional cable management if you want to have like a better experience that's on that scale as well. Here you can see also, for example, how a dual monitor setup looks like, which, for example, in combination with a desktop PC, this is like the micro form factor. We also have like special bezels at our disposal, which gives you the opportunity to mount these small microsystems behind the screen. And this is also a possibility just to take away some extra space, to gain some extra space, and not make actually the desktop really visible on the desk area. So really nice combinations possible right here for a phone-based worker. Yeah, well, other market segments we can also still take into account or consideration, because we are not the only ones affected by the pandemic, but also our students, our children that go to school, well, that used to go to school. Well, luckily, that's all starting to come a bit together now, but also the actual pandemic situation, the students needed to adapt to the situation as well, just as teachers needed to adapt as well. Giving classes remotely was not an easy task, but also need the right equipment in order to be able to approach your students and to be able to give the classes in a very efficient and a productive way. So also here, the digital transformation took place and is accelerating at really high rates and fast speeds. And you see that actually the IT comes to our students and our children in a very, very fast way. And that's also something that has enhance this experience for all these types of users. So luckily, also within our portfolio, we have the right tools and equipment to support the education market. Not only looking, of course, at like Chromebook devices, which are particularly known and famous towards the education market, just for the good price points. But we also have, of course, just normal Windows 10 solutions within our entry range devices, which also offer really good support and really can help also students to start the introduction within the IT segment. So all these devices also support the necessary compute power in order to run video conferencing calls, but also like the applications that schools use in order to access like tasks or homework, for example, that the teacher puts online. So looking here also to our educational solutions. This is an example of what a Chromebook looks like within the entry space. You see also in terms of the chassis that it's really robust. It doesn't really pay a lot of attention on the aesthetics of the device. It is made actually to support some bumps on the roads if the student goes home after school, or if they have some accidents along the way. These devices are a bit more robust and are also more supportive towards that area. So Google Chrome is also more like a hybrid OS, so also gives some extra opportunities to work on a more in a more hybrid on a more hybrid way, but also is a bit more cheaper than what the Microsoft solutions have to offer. Looking at, of course, other devices within that segment, we also have, of course, the educational laptops within our Latitude space, which run on the Windows OS. But you can see here, like you can see right here as well, also in terms of finishes and design, the products are a bit more robust. As for the teachers, maybe that they need a bit more, a bit higher devices than what the students have. And then here we also position like Latitude's 3000 series, or even some 5000 series can also be a good option to look to the teachers that can also support their students. But anyway, taking into account also the educational part of the market, well, thanks to our entry range level devices, we can also perfectly help students and teachers to grow that digital transformation.
And maybe I can add something to that.
Yeah.
Of course, we have great robust, how do you say it, systems. But when they are broken, and of course, a lot of children take them home and use it a lot, we have also the accidental damage covering for that. And also very important when you work from home and you're on the kitchen table and your kid or cat or dog is throwing something over it. So yeah, and also for the students, we can offer the accidental damage covering. Yeah.
Nice. That's a good point, Nancy. There's something that skipped my mind, but thank you for highlighting that as well.
No problem.
Thank you. All right. Moving forward, what is also nice to see or nice to know is that we also have like large format monitors present. Well, as you also know that, even though working remotely is becoming more a trend, and using an office space is something maybe that is something that will take away, will degrade in the years to come. But not safe to say that actually, meeting rooms may still be playing an important role, just to organize meetings or to organize brainstorm sessions, colleagues with one another, because having a brainstorming session virtually is not something that really that goes very easy. I've experienced it myself. It wasn't really not that easy. But having actually a better experience on actually in a meeting room. That is why we also have these types of large format monitors available within our portfolio. First, also to have like a better experience when meeting with one another. If there are people present in the office, people working remotely, that they also have like a better interaction and interference with one another. And this is where actually our portfolio also really stands out. Going options that can actually equip all the different types of meeting rooms you have available, like going from large meeting rooms to medium rooms, or even to the small huddle rooms. 55 to 75 to 86-inch screens are what our portfolio has to offer right now. And even now, 65 has also been added to the roster. So of course, it's not only a screen you put on the wall, it is a combination of way more elements that come together and that can really create that perfect experience. First of all, also on a software level, it's something we also still would recommend is to combine actually these screens with a Optiplex microform factor systems with, of course, a Windows OS running on it, because you can work actually like you're working on a computer, but on a big interactive screen. And of course, running the applications you really need in order to have the video conferences like Zoom or Teams are perfectly a good match for these types of setups. And of course, how do you want your screen to be placed in the room? On the wall with a wall bezel, or on a foot or a mobile stand with integrated elevators. So we work a lot with third parties, vendors as well, in order to offer you the right amount of solution, or the best setup which is possible to equip one of the meeting rooms. So and not to forget, of course, Logitech also plays a major role within this, because they are also the best in the market when it comes to audio and video supports. So thanks to the combination of like a Logitech camera or Logitech speaker, a nice foot from Chief or Salamander, and then of course our screen in combination with our commercial hardware solutions like a Optiplex microphone factor, you can really have a really nice setup. Just know as well that this can create. This is also adapted towards the new way of working, and that the meeting rooms still need to be equipped also with the best material possible, and our portfolio really gives that possibility as well. And then going forward to another segment within our portfolio, and this is of course like the more niche products, I call it then. Well, this is of course our workstation devices, and our workstation devices are also available in a mobile form factor, of course, and also our fixed solutions. Looking at our mobile solutions, well, of course, you have to take into account the different types of tasks at hand that the end user needs in order to go for these types of solutions, because these are devices that really require a lot of computational power, and that also run very heavy graphical applications. So users that do a lot of video or picture editing, that work with a lot of graphical programs like AutoCAD and stuff like that. Well, these devices really are supportive for these types of applications, and can also enhance the best experience possible. Here is an example, of course, of our highest run rate model within the mobile precision portfolio. This is our Precision 5000 series, which is actually considered one of our most popular devices, for the simple reason that it also has leveraged the XPS chassis. XPS chassis is very known for being like the best in class in design within our hardware solutions. And well, thanks to that nice design that we can copy within our workstation devices, this is the result, of course. All the aesthetical features that have been provided from XPS is leveraged here in a workstation device. But on the same time, it is also equipped with the highest components possible. And this is also, for example, how the infrastructure on the inside looks like, because it is a workstation, and when you think about a workstation, you think about a heavy, bulky device with a lot of graphical card and a lot of components built into it. That's true, but for a 5000 series, well, the infrastructure of the motherboard has been redesigned completely in order to save also room, but also still has the possibility to integrate all of these heavy configuration options. So this is just an example of how it looks like. Of course, yeah, in terms of ports and slots, that is the same limitation as what an XPS device has to offer. So you can still utilize additional accessories or USB-C multi-port dockings in order to increase, of course, your port and your slots availability. But all the other features and functionalities are the same. You see also very large touchpads. You see also built-in top-firing speakers, and you see also the nice infinity edge borders, which create a very nice multimedia experience. So safe to say that, yeah, of course, this again is one of our most popular workstation devices because they're really focused on the light aspect, one of the lightest workstation devices within the market as well. And yeah, this is just really nice to have. Device also available in a 17-inch model. Once you want to go actually higher within the segment, we also have 7000 series mobile precisions available, but these ones are of course mostly concentrated on the scalability aspect and of course on the biggest and the best performance you need to have for a workstation device. And we are especially looking towards more complex computational tasks like virtual reality, artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science. All these complex computational tasks can also be delegated towards a specific workstation solution. And going into these complex tasks, of course, we still also have our big towers, which are available within our precision categories. And they are, of course, yeah, these are monster PCs. The chassis is also designed in a way that you can add like 3 to 4 graphical cards, a lot of fans for a lot of cooling, and also provide, of course, the biggest and the best computational power you can require for from a computer on a professional level, of course. But again, this is more for the specific tasks that are at hand and not for a daily use if you really don't need this much computational power. And then just wanted to quickly showcase also and shortly highlight our ruggedized devices, because, yeah, of course, we are tackling the broadest availability in the market. So also taking into account like the field workers and people working outside in like more harsh and difficult conditions, not sitting behind a desk, for example, or working from home. And here also our ruggedized portfolio really has some nice devices we can offer and provide here. Ruggedized portfolio going also to fully ruggedized notebooks systems like the 5424 or like a semi-ruggedized system like the 5420. But this is a notebook device which is completely ruggedized, and of course has been tested to withstand the highest drops, the heaviest waterfalls, and a lot of dust and wind. So these devices are really made for the extreme harsh conditions. Also nice to say and nice to have is that we also offer like a tablet solution within these ruggedized spaces. So we also have like an extreme rugged tablet, which is equipped also with a detachable keyboard, just like our detachable devices. But these ones also offer, of course, a very hands-on experience if you are on the field, and can be utilized really like a tablet, but in a, of course, a rugged device. Also with all the ports and slots equipped you need for these types of solutions, and all of them are also covered with a special IP with a special cover in order not to let the water in or the dust in, of course. And also they work on multiple batteries. So if one battery is down, you can they will take over the power of another battery. So you have like easily swappable batteries, which can also be maintained right here. You have front-facing camera, rear cameras as well. So it really works like a tablet, and it can also be really nicely set up within a vehicle of a police car or even an ambulance. And just to showcase how that looks like, these types of solutions are also oriented more towards like like government institutions like police or ambulance or medical vehicles or even military. Everything is really made for these types of setups. I'm just going to showcase you quickly how such a solution can be integrated in one of these particular vehicles I just mentioned. If the site doesn't take too long to load or to charge it, because I don't have a workstation, so maybe on the graphical side it's a bit slower. But we are almost there, and I can showcase it to you. So also, if you have some questions in the meanwhile, we have also a Q&A chat available. So be free also to put your questions into the chat, or if you have some feedback as well, we can share it afterwards, no problem. Always nice to know what everybody thinks also of this setup. So here you see, for example, first the police car, and how actually also these systems can be integrated within the vehicle. So this is also all thanks to a specific vehicle docking, which is completely compatible with the system you see right here. So the tablet, so you can simply plug and play it within the dashboard, and it doesn't really take any space really into account as well. So for officers like on the field, these types of solutions are really, really practical to use. And also thanks to the integrated in-vehicle docking stations, these have like a really good integration of the vehicle. So this is just an example of how the tablet integrates within this vehicle. As well for ambulances, for example, you can see also that the ruggedized devices, they don't take too much space into a vehicle, so they can also be utilized really here on that level, and can immediately also communicate to the hospital what the condition is of the patient that is on its way, in order for them to be prepared and just to receive the patient. And then of course, the military vehicles is a bit similar like what you saw in the police car, but also here, thanks to the mounts and the docking mount and setup for the vehicle, these ruggedized tablets can perfectly be integrated in these types of solutions. And you can see that again, it can be really helpful tools again, also for the soldiers to apply. So there we go. That was the example of our ruggedized infrastructure within actually these types of vehicles. And well, basically that also provides me, or comes for me at the end of the session. Now you can see there are still a lot of other booths also available, but more looking towards sustainability or other other initiatives we are taking for our ecological footprints. So not going too much into detail rather around here, but you can also still discover it by yourself if you want, if you still are if you still want to check out actually the virtual environment after the session. So well, basically that sums everything up. Well, I hope this gave you also a nice and clear view of again of our actual portfolio. This was like also our 2021 lineup I've presented to you. Gives you also again a better idea on how the personas play a really defining role on actually the production of our devices, because really we want to make sure that everybody within the market has the solution at hand. And of course, we can really provide, thanks to our broad portfolio, the right solution for every work profile or personas, as we call it. And it goes to that gives you also a good insight of of what Dell can provide in terms of hardware solutions, but also, like Nancy mentioned, for the services, support, and deployment parts, we are really there from start to finish to create that perfect, seamlessly enhanced experience. So I don't know if there are still any questions. I haven't seen any open questions in the Q&A chats. If you want to share something or give some feedback, that's no problem. You can unmute yourself and just tell me. Don't see a lot of responses or feedback, but no problem.
You're very clear, I think.
That's also that can also.
Or it has to land first. all those information.
Yeah, exactly. I think here was just good to see, or to showcase you also what we have available of these types from these types of platforms, and that you can really leverage it from it as well, because moving forward in the more virtual ways, these are I think way more fun solutions to showcase or highlight you than of course like a more traditional PowerPoint presentation. But if there are any questions anymore, or you haven't got some feedback for us anymore, no problem. I can end the session, and hope you all enjoyed it, and hope to catch you next time. Thank you.
Thank you very much.